Last week was the 1-year anniversary of playing crypto on YouTube. To celebrate this, I posted an AMA on Insta. I got questions from a wide range of topics: NFTs, mining, crypto for beginners, Web3, etc. In this video, I'll respond to all those questions and also share my insights about upcoming trends. I encourage you to watch the whole video, but if you're short on time, use the timestamps to jump to the sections you're interested in. Before we dive in, I have a favor to ask. If you find this video helpful, hit that like button. Your like will help us rank higher on YouTube search and reach more people. In this channel, I explain the latest developments in the blockchain world: DeFi, Web3, Metaverse, how different cryptos work in simple terms. If this is something of interest to you, consider subscribing to my channel. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the juicy crypto knowledge. Oh, and one more thing. Stating the obvious, I'm not a financial advisor and nothing I say here is financial advice. I'm just a guy who is passionate about blockchains and talking to a camera about it. Now, let's jump in. The best platform to buy crypto. I'm going to assume that you are a beginner and looking to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some other popular crypto. For this, I would recommend crypto.com because it's so simple to use. However, if you want to buy crypto at the best price, or if crypto.com is not available in your country, try Binance. They're the biggest crypto exchange, which means more volume and less spread. Basically translate to best price when buying crypto or more crypto for your money. I will leave links to these in the description. Both these platforms also support a lot of crypto tokens you could choose from. If you're facing issues with signing up to these platforms for whatever reason, you can try alternatives like Coinbase Pro. You can start with Coinbase, but Coinbase Pro is much cheaper and both are free. CoinDCX if you're based in India. Do you suggest buying established crypto or new crypto? It doesn't have to be one or the other. Use the age-old investment mantra, diversification. You can have, say, 60% allocation to established crypto like Bitcoin and Ethereum, 30% to up-and-coming tokens, and 10% for experimenting. This is for tokens with great potential, but they have very low market cap right now. This is a strategy I use personally, not with those exact percentages, of course. There are many advantages to this sort of allocation. You see, for every token that gave a 100x return, there are 100 tokens that went bust, hacked, or turns out to be outright scams. So if you're right about your small cap allocations, a 100 or 1000x gain would give you a nice return. But if you're wrong, which to be honest can happen for reasons completely out of your control, you only lose a small amount. Basically, win big, lose small. This will also be a safer bet during turbulent market conditions such as the one we are in right now. The next one is a multi-part question. Now we are seeing countries increasingly come out of COVID and crypto market has fallen 20%-ish. Will the crypto market taper down more or reach some stability? Is it a good time to invest in crypto now? There are a lot of factors that influence the crypto market. This includes everything that affects traditional markets plus regulatory uncertainty. Between the time this question was asked and I got around to writing the response, the crypto markets were down a further 20% and then up 8%. We never know which way it's going to go in the short term, but I'm confident that blockchains are the future. Now, in the short term, if it falls further, you may regret buying today. On the flip side, if it goes up from here, you may regret not buying the dip at all. So the best option would be dollar cost averaging. Buy a little bit each day or week. That way, you buy at different price points. This is a very standard approach in investing. It minimizes your regrets and risks in the short term. Do you recommend any books for crypto for a total beginner? I'll give book recommendations in a bit, but let me say this first. Blockchains seem like very complicated black boxes, especially for beginners. The crypto space is rapidly evolving, so even the popular books do not cover all the evolving trends. My point is, don't just constrain yourself to books when it comes to crypto. That said, the fundamentals covered in the books are still relevant and helpful for beginners. There are a lot of books for beginners that talk about Bitcoin, but I think blockchain technology is much more than just that. So, Here is a book that discusses the past, present, and future possibilities for blockchain technology. Blockchain, Bubble or Revolution? The future of Bitcoin, blockchains, and cryptocurrencies. Link to this in the description. The book talks about the technical and social aspects of blockchains. It goes through pros and cons and gives a fundamental understanding of what blockchain stuff is all about. But try and venture into new sources of knowledge once you feel like you understood the basics. The main reason for starting this channel is to cover the basics and latest developments in crypto in a beginner-friendly manner. Make sure you're subscribed to us. Crypto for Dummies. If you like to learn by reading, start out with the book I mentioned earlier. If you prefer videos for learning, check out our first couple of videos. They go through the history and workings of blockchains without the technical jargon. Don't hesitate to post your questions in the comments section. I'm happy to engage. The next couple of questions are about the technology aspects of blockchain, and I thoroughly enjoy writing responses to them. If there is a Web 2.0 that can use the best of both worlds, what would it have? Web 3 is the idea that all the services on the internet can be powered by blockchains. Web 2 is the model that we're all used to today. We sign up to services like Facebook, Amazon, or YouTube and build our profiles in their ecosystem. It makes it hard to switch because we have to do this all over again. These websites can talk to each other using APIs, but only if both parties agree to support it. This is not just a user pain point. It also seriously limits innovation. I won't go into more details, but I'm working on a separate video that explains what Web 3 is. Now, what are these good at? As it stands today, Web 2 is very good at efficient use of resources and user experience. And Web 3 is great for control and interoperability. Everything you do on the blockchain is verified by thousands of validators. This means every unit of computation you do on-chain is repeated thousands of times for verification. Doesn't matter if it's proof of work or proof of stake. The same applies for storage. In the hybrid world, we could use Web 2 entities to perform these intense computations and post the results back to blockchains. dApps could use this information to serve their users. There are a lot of ongoing research using zero-knowledge proofs and other cryptographic techniques to verify that a computation was performed correctly without having to redo it on-chain. Also, people could continue to access Web 3 applications through Web 2 services. We can see this happening today. We access dApps using Web 2 infrastructure such as DNS, domain names, etc. Twitter announcing support for NFT profile pictures. Reddit testing blockchain rewards for their users. I would like to hear your thoughts on what a hybrid model is going to look like. If you had to ask Vitalik one question, what would that be? A question about a question. I'll take it. Will blockchains continue to remain decentralized? Each blockchain has incentives to validators or miners. Now, people with big money can always acquire the resources required, be it mining hardware or tokens for staking, to increase their odds for producing the next block. So if most blocks are produced by these big players, how does it affect censorship, decentralization, and the core values of blockchain? I had this question since I started looking closely at the general aspects of how different blockchains work. I will link to that video below. Luckily, Vitalik has answered this very recently in a blog post titled Endgame. In that, he talked about how in future block production could become centralized, but block validation is still trustless and highly decentralized, and censorship is still prevented by using advanced cryptographic techniques like ZK snarks. Do you think Bitcoin and Ethereum will have the same high value as emerging cryptos? I think they will continue to be relevant for a long time. There is a large community of users, developers, and researchers contributing to these two big caps. We will likely have a multi-chain world with IBC, inter-blockchain communication. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the emerging cryptos will find their footing and likely cater to different types of applications. Ethereum has a very exciting multi-year roadmap ahead, starting with the switch to proof of stake this year. Bitcoin has a lot of interest from people and companies with deep pockets. Intel announced their plans to make Bitcoin mining hardware, companies announcing billion-dollar investments into mining farms, etc. So yeah, I think there's an exciting roadmap ahead for these two cryptos, along with the emerging ones. What coin, apart from BTC and ETH, do you think have a solid roadmap? There's no shortage of projects with amazing roadmaps in crypto. The real question is, can they deliver on their promises? And when they do, will users come to use it? Polkadot, Chainlink, Cardano, Polygon are all tokens in the top 20 with excellent roadmaps, a great team, and a big community behind them. Look for upcoming trends in the space and see which projects are better positioned to benefit from these trends. For example, the ICO boom in 2017, DeFi in 2020, NFTs in 2021 have all benefited smart contract blockchains like Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, Avalanche. What will be the trend of 2022 and who is on path to deliver this? I personally think that GameFi and Metaverse will be the big topics for this year. I'm paying close attention to projects like Sandbox, Decentraland, Yield Guild Games, and so on. Obviously, crypto evolves much faster than any tech today. So subscribe to my channel to stay in the loop with evolving trends. The next set of questions are mostly about mining. How much did your mining equipment cost and how much did you make excluding electricity? Okay, I did not buy any mining equipment specifically. I ordered a PC for video editing and I mine on that when it's not in use. It cost me around £1,400. If you're looking purely to mine, you can get hardware twice as powerful for the same price. As for revenue, I'm making between 0.025 to 0.03 ETH per month. Used to be around 0.045 ETH when I got into it. The decrease is because more miners have joined the network since, and we all have to share the same pie. As for expenses, electricity is the biggest and only expense. Used to be close to 20% of my revenue, but electricity prices in Europe have almost doubled recently. So now it's nearly 40% of my revenue. All in all, I made about 0.35 ETH, 0.4 Monero, and 0.5 Chia. If I exclude my electricity costs, the PC more than paid for itself already. Best crypto coin to mine in present times and for beginners. Ethereum is hands down the best crypto to mine today. But it is very hard to get hold of graphic cards to set up Ethereum mining. If you can get your hands on a graphic card that's released in the last 2 to 3 years, the setup is super beginner friendly. I made a video about how to mine Ethereum. Check it out, link in the description. Affordable miners to mine. If you want to mine Bitcoin, check out Antminer S9. You can get it for about $600 on eBay, link below. But it doesn't make sense to mine Bitcoin unless you have extremely cheap electricity. Anything over 10 cents per kilowatt hour is expensive. If you want to mine Ethereum, NVIDIA 3060 Ti is a cheaper card to start with, but be careful, do not get the light hash rate versions. They are much cheaper because NVIDIA limits the hash rate of these cards. I'll leave a link to an original card below, but try to get a second-hand one from eBay. The next question is about NFTs. What are your thoughts on NFTs? Can a beginner buy any without losing money? I think NFTs will play a very big role in the both Web3 and Metaverse narratives. But that's about the tech. As for buying NFTs, you should do a lot more research than when you're buying crypto coins. And here are 3 reasons why. First, you can't buy a fraction of an NFT. For example, you can start investing in Polkadot with $10 and that will give you about $0.5. But with NFTs, you can't do this. You either buy an NFT or you don't. You can't buy a fraction of an NFT, which makes it hard to invest smaller amounts. People are working on making this possible, but we are not there yet. Second, popular collections are already very expensive and out of reach. Cheapest item on the BAYC collection starts at $300,000. You could buy NFTs from less popular collections cheap, but you're taking a higher risk, so DYOR, do your own research. With a few exceptions, NFT collections that rise to high prices are generally from influencers like Snoop Dogg or brands like Adidas. And third, NFTs are not very liquid. In our earlier example, if you change your mind about DOT or any other ERC20 token, you can go to Uniswap or Binance and exchange it for something else. With NFTs, you have to list it for sale, like listing an item on eBay, and wait for a buyer who is interested in this collection and specifically your NFT in that collection. I don't mean to discourage you, but each NFT collection is basically selling their value proposition to their buyers. The proposition can be anything from just fun to virtual or real world perks. I know that was a very long detour, but I hope it gave you the right context. I also have a video explaining the technical aspects of NFTs. I'll link down below. But the simple answer is, as a beginner, it is hard to buy NFTs and not lose money without getting lucky. There are opportunities. Just look around and see if you value what the NFT will give you, or if you're looking to flip for a profit that other people will value it. I know that was a lot of information, guys, but we're almost towards the end. Thanks for staying so far. So I'm going to finish with the last two questions, which are more on the light-hearted note, so you don't have to put so much brain power to it. What famous rap song has the word anti-disestablishmentarianism? Okay, I feel like this was a quiz. Honest answer, I didn't know. But I looked it up, and the answer is Almost Famous by Eminem. I have since listened to this song for like 20 times already, and I keep getting it in my recommendations. Thanks for that. I'll leave a link to this in the description for you guys if you want to check it out. Finally, the last but not the least. Will you go out for a drink with me? Sure, but you should know I might go on and on about blockchains, Web3, Metaverse, GameFi, etc. Don't say I didn't warn you though. Alright, that's everything I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed it, please pay me with your likes and comments. Thanks for watching. This is Praveen, and I'll see you again soon.